Okay, in this video, I'm going to do two things I detest doing almost more than anything in the world. This issue of circular reference that I find so important. Really had a circular reference argument uh, the other day, just around and around and around, and you can't stop these circular references. And if you try to stop them, everything breaks down. Oh, you just think about what's going on in the world and why it goes around and around and around. So I don't know if you remember where we were last time. And perhaps I'm going to redo the end. This is our simple model with a DSRA, a IDC, and a sculpting circular reference. And so what I'm going to do in this video is first show you the problems of the uh, using the iteration option. And then I'm going to do something I hate doing and making copy and paste macros. Okay. So let's review where we were last time. Now, I had a DSRA, and when we change the DSRA, that changes the funding. And when you change the funding, I guess that changes the debt requirements. And when you change the debt requirements, it changes the DSRA itself. So what we had done last time, I'm just going back here, we had gone to options and going to the formulas and enable. Now I'm switching it off. Okay, now when I go down to the DSRA and I find the DSRA funding during construction, okay, and I'll go ahead and copy that. Now, if I would go to options and go to formulas and click on enable iterative calculations, then it goes away and you say, oh, that's pretty cool. And I've heard some big, very big companies saying, that's okay, we can use that. And maybe sometimes you can. And so I'm going to save this file. Okay. And you'll see in a moment why I saved this file. Now let's just say, and I just tried this, you type an A here, okay, and then you get all of these values. You get all of these values in the whole stupid sheet. And what's your natural reaction? Well, the natural reaction is to press Control Z, and that doesn't work. And then you might say, oh, shoot, let's take this one out. And well, this time it worked. Last time it didn't work. Oh, well. Okay, uh, uh, maybe that's not quite the one I wanted. Well, let's do something else. Let's say I go to this debt balance and type an A. Okay, and then I press Control Z. Of course, it doesn't work. And then I delete this, and it actually is working now. So on these ones, I am able to fix this. But trust me, I have had a lot of cases where it doesn't work. Oh, no. So we redo the calculation. Okay. Oh, now it didn't work. Oh, good. That's the kind of thing that happens. Maybe I can copy this backwards. And maybe I can copy this forward. So okay, it didn't work. Now, if you did this, if you deleted the row, you get references, I think instead of values, and then you undelete it, you can try to, I guess we can do the same thing after we undeleted this one. But trust me, I'm struggling with finding the perfect example of the disaster of oh, there it is. I can't copy it now for some reason. I better delete it. And now I better add it together. Well, it still wasn't as bad as you can get. Basically, it can just kind of destroy your life. It really can. This structuring problem. The other problem that I've discussed many times is the problem of goal seeks. And I don't know how many other problems there are. Slowing down a model is a big one as well. So I hope you see that you generally would not want to do that. Now let's use the copy and paste method instead. Now if we perhaps, well, no, I'll go ahead and do this. So I'm going to take the iterative calculation away. And what that means is this thing that caused the circular reference, somewhere down in the bottom, perhaps, some people might even have these kind of little sections of the model where they address the circular references. So I'm going to do a copy and paste. So let's put computed DSRA funding. I really wanted that iteration button to kind of be worse. I'm kind of sad about that. So here we have that. And then I'm going to copy this across. Whoops. I'm going to copy this across. And then I'm going to put fixed DSRA funding. Now, and I could put a difference here. Yeah, let's put difference. And we want to make sure that that difference is 0. So what we do is we copy this, and we really need a range name on the end of it. Perhaps I'll put a computed DSRA, DSRA, and then I'll put fixed DSRA down here. And you can, if you have a whole string, you can just select both of them together, Shift Control F3. Okay, and we will take the start recording a macro. Okay, and I'm going to copy the computed, this whole line, which is, you see, has a range name, and paste it special as fixed. That's the copy and paste. Okay, and then I'll better stop recording. I just made a little mistake when I went back and forth. Okay, and I could even, if you don't know, stop it. Oh God. And so if we go into these this macro, put it right in the lookup macros. That's okay. And this will eventually be our copy paste. Okay, and we really don't almost have to do this. We have to simply adjust this and put range, and this was, I need to find these horrible range names. So one thing you can do if you want to find them is press Control and F3, and it COMP underscore that. Or I guess what you could do is just click here and click on F3. You see the F3 and paste the list. I don't need this crap. I just want this so I can remember this, and I wonder, I wish there was an easier way to do this. I doubt there is. I mean, whatever, a different manual way perhaps, but some automatic way. So we want to take this range computed, DSRA, and select that, and then copy it, and then we can select the entire fix DSRA. Okay, and then we can paste it special. Okay, and now let's kind of see what happens. We can take the difference, which is the sum of this line minus the sum of this line, and eventually we'll keep copying and pasting until they all go to 0. Now, because I suppose because I have this, it's we have a difference of 0, but I'm going to now, in the DSRA itself, I'm going to plop in the fixed amount, and that will get rid of the circular reference. Okay, now let's change something. So let's say I change the we can change the EBITDA to 125. Let's change the capital expenditure to 720. Okay, and perhaps we'll change the interest rate to 3.75%. That should be enough to create at the bottom a difference. And let's just kind of manually look and see how long it takes. Now, I didn't put an iteration loop in here. If you're saying, oh, what, you idiot, you don't know how to do this good stuff, the copy and paste, you don't have to know how to put it in. Well, okay, I'm going to put it in, but I'm going to be a little bit patient. So, it clicked in one go. So perhaps I'm all wrong about things. That solved very quickly. Okay. We can click again and again. And in fact, if you don't like this thing where it does the, oh, shoot, come on. You can put, right at the end, I think you can put something called application.copy mode equal false. Okay. And then when you run it this time, let's put this back up to 700. Okay, and let's go down, and we've got a little bit of a difference. Then you notice that we don't have those dots. That's a big deal, I suppose. Okay, and it just took one iteration to fix that. But now let's go to the next circular reference problem. And the next circular reference problem will be that we need to sum all of the DSRA. We need to sum all of these DSRA balances. And that's probably going to be okay. Okay, that didn't add a circular reference. But when we sum all of the IDC, we get a circular reference. And that circular reference is pretty easy to explain. It's almost like a classic fee. When you borrow more money, then you got to pay more interest. And if you pay more interest, and that changed the basis of your bond, you got a higher amount you can borrow, and then you go around and around. Now, what we can do over here is kind of put a little fixed amount. Let's pretend our fixed amount is 30, and then let's put our sum of the IDC over here. Okay. And did I do that correctly? I hope. So we still have that, but now let's make this equal to the fixed amount. So this was fixed IDC, and this was calculated IDC. Okay, and we can, I hate this so much. Okay, and we can select these two and press Shift Control F3 and into the macro. I can't seem to get words out today. Okay, so we want to go around and around till this thing equals 0. So remember, we set the fixed is equal to the calculated IDC. So we can go kind of down here and say range fixed IDC. I hope I spelled that correctly, equal range IDC. Is that okay? I hope. Did I name these correctly? Calc IDC, fixed IDC. So let's take our little button, all right, and copy our little button up here. Okay, and we'll click rep. That this is fixed. Oh, stupid me. Oh, God. Okay, I'm not going to necessarily blame this one on copy paste. I'm blaming this one on my own stupidity. Okay, now when we do that, it doesn't quite resolve, so we'd have to do the same thing again. And perhaps, here's what, if you get a little bit fancier with the macros, what you could do is find out where you were. And you can say address, base address equal active active cell dot address. Do you think I'm getting too old? I wonder if there's, and then once you're finished with this, it goes around and around. You can say range base address dot select, and I never really know if you should say activate. This is really, after I've done this so many times, I can never kind of get it to come back sometimes. So we go back and we have to do it again. And I don't know. Perhaps it's not, so far it's not that bad. We just had to make a couple of iterations, and then everything kind of is back. Now let's continue. And what I had done is I had made this CFADS equal to the EBITDA minus the taxes, and that was totally incorrect. This CFADS should be the switch multiplied by the CFADS. And I have said this too often, but if this is the first time you've watched one of these videos, on circular references. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. When you have to go downstairs to find something, that creates a problem. So we're going to have to do the same sort of thing with the CFADS. Okay, now this is, remember, this is a tiny model, not a small model, a tiny model. Okay, and I'm interested in seeing how long, what will happen here. Perhaps I should have put the fixed here, but I'm going to put the computed CFADS here, and then the fixed CFADS. Okay, and I'm going to kind of find the that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get the CFADS, and I'm going to try to, now when I press Shift Control R, it goes one too far, and I'm going to, because it looks upstairs and blah, 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 it's another computed CFADS, and then I'll put fixed CFADS, and then we'll get the difference. And how did I compute this difference? I'll do the same thing. I'll put this difference here, and this time we're going to copy and paste as we do always. Okay, so I'll press Shift Control F3 again, and we'll copy this and paste special as values to here. Okay, and then let's compute the difference as the sum of this one minus the sum of the next one. Okay. And we still don't, I haven't quite finished because now we have to go upstairs, and where it says the CFADS itself, we've got to put that fixed CFADS right there. Okay. And now we this is concerning me because oh, how can that be just a hold on, I was just a complete idiot when I did this computed DSRA funding. This should have come from the computed CFADS, should have been the right from the cash flow waterfall. It should have been EBITDA minus the taxes. Did I do that correctly? I hope. Okay, now when I just copied it, crap. This was, there's an undo. I have an undo thing on here, so we got a big difference. Okay, fine. All right, and then now what we have to do is copy this and paste special as values to below, and we still get a difference. And eventually, I don't know if this difference is going to influence. Yes, it should influence certainly the IDC and the DSRA. So what we need to do is do the same thing. Just remember here what we have, which is the comp CFADS and the fix CFADS. See if I can actually remember those silly things. So I think we can do the same sort of thing where we go up here and we copy the comp CFADS and put it to the fixed CFADS. And now here's what I'm hoping so badly. You have no idea how badly I'm hoping this. I'm hoping that you are not saying, oh, this is cool. Okay. We have to go around, and then we got a difference. We got a difference again. We got to go around again. And I don't know if we have still a difference up here with the DSR, the calculated IDC. We don't seem to have a difference. So that's in a way good news. And now we can put the total difference. And the total difference is our difference from the DSRA plus the difference from the CFADS plus the difference from the IDC. And let's call this difference. So we're going to go around and around. I'll name this range, and we'll go around and around until that difference equals 0. So we can make a little loop here. And you know what I'm going to do here is protect ourselves just a little bit in this loop. So put a little count equal 1. And then to make a loop, you could make a loop called while the difference doesn't equal 0 and put a W end at the end, or we can put do while range difference does not equal to 0. Okay, and then we can go to the end here before we have to select our new and put loop. Okay, that's how we can do this. So let's try this. Perhaps I'll cut our little button and put our little button up here. Okay. Now, when we let's change a couple of parameters. How about 720? And how about changing the cash flow a little bit? how about changing the interest rate? Okay, sorry, to change it now, we hopefully should have a small difference here. We don't have a difference in the DSRA funding, and we have a difference in the CFADS. So we go around and around, and it didn't take that long, but it took a little bit of time. Now imagine you have to do a whole bunch of calculations, and your model is much, much larger. This is going to take a lot more time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this video and make a third video. And my third video is going to show you, let's see how long it takes to implement this other method that I have. Now just remember that if you use this copy and paste method, you can't make a data table anymore. You cannot make a, well, you can if you run the macro in the data table. So I suppose that's a little bit wrong. A goal seek, maybe you can, but it gets a lot more complicated. Okay, and a whole lot of other things are much more difficult. Okay, so that's the end of this one.